Pastor Damont from Eden Baptist. It's great to be able to come to you by video this morning. And so we are looking forward to a great day Sunday. We are getting ready to resume our worship time together. And so we're going to be meeting this coming Sunday, May the 31st. We're going to meet at 10 o'clock for morning worship. Now, as I said before, no nursery, no children's church. We're going to be spaced out, so we're going to maintain some social distancing, but we're going to gather for worship. And so we hope that we're going to be able to continue that. So we're going to see, as long as things remain the way they are right now, we will continue meeting together for worship starting this coming Sunday. If you are sick, and stay home. We just want to ask you to stay home if you're sick. Don't take a chance on giving anything to anybody else. Also, if you want to wear your mask, you feel free to wear your mask Sunday in church. That's fine. But we just want to be able to gather together for worship again. So we're looking forward to that. And we're going to have things set up the best that we can. Everything's going to be sanitized. We're going to have the hand sanitizer. We're going to space people out, all those kinds of things. And so we're going to dispense with the fellowship time. We're not going to go around shake hands and hugs and things like that anymore. So for now, we're going to stop with that. We're not going to pass the offering plates. We'll have the offering plates set out so that when you are leaving, you can go ahead and drop your offering in as you leave. And so we're going to do some things to kind of try to help make sure that people stay safe. And so we look forward to worshiping together again on Sunday morning. And so we look forward to seeing you then. What I wanted to share with you this morning is from an old story from the Bible. It's not an unfamiliar story, but I wanted to just remind us that it's a story that's not just for them back then, but it's a story that's for us now. And I just want to talk to you a little today about faith under fire. And the story is a familiar story from the book of Daniel. And it's got those three young Hebrew men, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. And of course, everybody knows them more by their names given to them by the Babylonians, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. We know the story tells us that the King Nebuchadnezzar constructed this image. We don't know what it looked like, but it was an image, some kind of statue or something that he set up. And that the command was that when everyone heard the music, they had to bow down and worship this image. Well, of course, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, refused to do that. And so they had been appointed as leaders in the region, and so the other people were kind of jealous about that. So they reported it to the king. And the king got angry about that. He said, okay, you either bow down and worship, or you get thrown into this furnace, this burning furnace. And so you're familiar with the story, but when we talk about faith under fire, it may be that your faith is coming under attack. Your faith is under fire right now, where your faith is being tested, whether it's because of sickness, maybe it's because of economic things, maybe you're out of work because of this virus, maybe you're going through some kind of issues in your home, in your family, in your marriage, and you feel like your faith is under fire. And I like the response that was given by these three Hebrew young men to the king, because the king said, okay, here's your options. When the music plays, if you're ready to bow down and worship this image, then fine. If not, you're going to be thrown into this burning furnace. And he asked the question, he says, what God is there that can deliver you out of my hand? And I like the response that these Hebrew men gave him. He said, we don't have to think about this. We don't have to wonder about what we're going to do. And I just wanted to share the answer with you that was given to them in Daniel chapter 3. It says in verse 17, if it be so, our God whom we serve is able to deliver us from the furnace of blazing fire, and he will deliver us out of your hand, O king. And so I like that. He said, okay, you know what? Our God is able. If you throw us in a fiery furnace, if you decide to do that, our God is able. Our God is able to deliver us. He can deliver us from that furnace of fire. He can deliver us from out of your hand, even though you think that you're in control of everything. And that is that is faith that is being lived out and demonstrated with real conviction. It's not just talking about your faith. It's saying, here is our faith. That here's the burning furnace, and yeah, you can decide if you want to throw us in there or not. But you know what? Our God is able to deliver us. Our God is able to save us. But there was something that they said beyond that. And it didn't stop there. And that's kind of where I wanted to focus this morning. Because he said, our God is able to deliver us from the fire. Our God is able to deliver us out of your hand. But look at verse 18 says, but even if he does not. Our God can deliver us from the furnace, but even if he doesn't. Let it be known to you, O king, that we are not going to serve your gods or worship the golden image that you have set up. And so, the answer is, our God is able, but even if he decides not to, even if he decides to leave us in the furnace, and you think, why would God do that? Why would God not rescue them if they're faithful? Why would God not do that? Well, God in his sovereign wisdom and God in his divine purposes, sometimes, folks, he may leave us in the furnace. Sometimes, we may stay in the furnace, and it's not because he likes to watch us squirm. It's not because he likes to watch us suffer. But, but God has his purposes for what he does. And it may be that he wants to refine us. It may be that he wants to help us to grow. It may be that he has something that he wants to teach us that we're only going to learn in the furnace. Maybe he has a lesson that we need to learn that we're only going to learn when we're going through the fire. And you may be going through the fire right now. You may be going through a storm in your life right now. And you say, God, I'm serving you. That's what they said. Our God whom we serve. God, I belong to you. God, I'm serving you. Why are you leaving me in the fire? Why are you leaving me in the storm? And God, again, he refines us in those places. That's where our faith is strengthened. That's where we can look back and say, what, my faith grew stronger during that trial, and God taught me some things there that I never would have learned if I were walking around all the time on the mountaintop, in flowery fields, where everything is easy. Sometimes God leaves us in the fire so that he can teach us the things that we need to learn, so that he can form us more into the image of his Son, so that our faith will grow, so that we'll learn to trust him and not in ourselves. And so, it may be that you're in the fire today. And, you say, God, where are you? And, the fact is, God is there with you. God hasn't left you. He hasn't forsaken you. He hasn't forgotten you. But listen, he may leave you in the fire for a while until you learn what it is that you need to learn. He left the thorn in the flesh that Paul asked him to remove, and so that he would learn to depend on God's strength rather than his own. And so, if you're going through the fire today, I just want to encourage you. I'm not teaching you anything new, but I want to remind you, that our faith grows stronger when we are going through the fire. That God is with us even in the midst of the storm. And, whatever you're going through, you need to trust him and commit yourself to his purpose and say, God, whatever it is that you want to teach me, I want to learn it today. So I hope that this word has encouraged you this morning. And you know what? I want to see all of you here Sunday morning, May the 31st at 10 o'clock. God bless you all, and hope to see you on Sunday.